Hello everyone, welcome back to the YouTube channel. My name is Rachel. I'm an owner and craft educator here at Oak and Lamb. Today we're going to be testing out some UV resins we got from Temu. Now we haven't even opened these up, so this is going to be a complete new blind test for us, and we thought that you guys might want to see this. Now, our favorite UV resin we have ever used, and we have used several, is J. Diction UV resin. I will link it down below. I do expect it to still come out on top today. The price difference with the resin that we purchase in the little bottle, now if you purchase the big bottle, of course you do save much more money, but we're going to be comparing these with a 100-gram bottle. So the price difference is, this is about $2 to $3 more than these. So the price difference isn't insane, okay? But we want to see if there's a better option on Temu. So we bought two brands on Temu that we're going to test out. I'll link all of these down below. These were about $7 or $8. Temu prices change sometimes. I'll link them down below. But the one that we normally get is J. Diction. It's amazing. We have done several comparisons and it still does come out on top. But we have a little clear silicone mold. It is important that your UV resin projects have a clear silicone mold. If you don't know much about UV resin, we do have several videos, so definitely check them out. We use UV resin a lot here at Oak and Lamb, and we're always trying to find a better brand. Now, we love our brand, but if there's a better, more affordable brand out there, we want to try it. So today we're comparing some Temu UV resins. We have our mold. We have our LED UV light. Now let's get to comparing. And before we dive in, it is completely free to click down below and subscribe to the YouTube channel. It helps us out so much, so please do that. If you have enjoyed this video so far, like it as well, and don't forget to leave any questions or comments in the comment section below. Okay, we have our silicone mold here and our UV light. Now before we get started, I don't want to hear or see any comments about working with UV resin. Please use personal protection, wear a mask, wear a respirator, wear your gloves, go outside, do whatever you can do to keep you safe, but please do not comment on the way that we do things. We are telling you to be safe, so just trust that we are as well. Now we're going to start with J. Diction because this is the one that's going to come out very predictable for us because we have used this before. So I'm just going to take our J. Diction and fill this mold. Now I'm not going to fill it up to the top. I'm just going to fill it enough to where it's going to self-level. And we're going to keep this a very like straight comparison. We're not going to add any glitter, not any pigment, nothing like that. I want this to be a nice straight comparison so that we can see if it's yellowing or if it has a ton of bubbles or what have you. One thing I'm going to keep the same with all of them is I'm going to put the resin in the mold, and then I'm going to take my torch lighter and light over the top of it on all of these to keep everything nice and the same. And after, of course, you take your torch lighter or your regular lighter, or you can use rubbing alcohol in a spray bottle or a mist bottle. That works too, just to pop those bubbles on the surface. We're going to make sure we read the directions on every single individual packaging so we can treat these the way that the brand wants us to treat them, and we can light them the same amount of time that each of them recommends, because I don't want to, overheat them or anything like this. I want to keep it super nice and even. So for an LED lamp like the one that we have, which is a 10 watt, our resin here, our J. Diction resin, says you can heat it from 30 to 85 seconds. I'm going to go on the higher end of that and do 85 seconds. I'm going to have a timer on my phone so I can make sure that I am heating it for the proper amount of time, and then we'll see how it goes. So I'm going to turn my light on, place it over it, not like super close, but like above it a couple inches, and let's start the clock. Okay, it has been 1 minute and 20 seconds, and it's pretty warm. So let's go ahead and let this cool down for just a second or two, and we'll pull this out of its mold. I know we've talked about it, but if you guys haven't watched any of our other UV resin videos, the absolute hands down best way to cure resin is outside in the sunlight. It does an incredible job, and it works and happens so quick when you cure it outside in the sun. So if it's a nice sunny day and you can leave it out there for a few minutes, please do that because that is going to cure it amazing. Okay, let's pull this out of its mold. And it actually looks like it could definitely be cured for a little while longer. The top is nice and cured, so I'm just going to set it here on the table. I'm going to reset my timer and give it a few more seconds here. Okay. Oh, that's good. Okay, yeah. So, under 2 minutes, and this is nice and hard and cured. So we're going to set that aside. Have our mold here. And let's use another resin. So this is the one we're going to use now. We're going to have to open it up. And how I like to open my resins is getting my True Control knife and removing all of that lid there, just like that. If you get any resin on your True Control knife, that's okay because if it's not cured, it's really easy to wipe off. I'm just going to go ahead and open the other bottle while my True Control knife is out. UV resin that's not cured yet is really easy to get off of anything. You can get it off with, with water, with rubbing alcohol, whatever you want to do. So we're going to use this one next. In the same way, I'm going to add a dollop in the center. And I'm trying not to make it bubble at all. So I'm trying to be really intentional about that. This is much more liquidy than the J Diction. That is something that I will note. This one seems to be a lot more liquid-like, a lot thinner. So now that's self-leveled very quickly. I'm going to go in here with my torch and blow the top of that. It looks nice and clear. Do it again like I did the other one. Now, got my light on. Let's start the clock again. We're going to do 1 minute and 20 seconds just like we did the first time, and we'll see how this has cured. Okay, let's see how it did. Ooh, I see lots of ripples in this, and it definitely bubbled up. If you guys have ever worked with UV resin, the bubbling, it definitely bubbled up. It's falling right out of this, though, and the back looks like it definitely needs to be cured longer. I mean, this is so bubbled up. It's so curvy. I wish you can see it. Okay, so let's reset. Flip it to the back just like I did the other one. And we'll do it for another 30 seconds and see how it goes. Okay. That's another 30 seconds. Woo, it's hot. I can't believe, oh gosh. That's weird. It's like it bubbled up and domed up so fast that the wet UV resin that was on the bottom of this mold made like a pattern in the resin itself. So now there's like a weird pattern in it. I'm going to grab some rubbing alcohol and clean out this mold as well. I think that one left like a residue on the mold. We don't want that at all. I mean, the J Diction one did great. It did perfect. There was nothing in the mold. But this one left like a residue. I mean, it dried hard, but I wish you guys could see. It's not clear at all. It's got like this big ripple in it. But moving on. Let's do our last one here. So we have this one up next. Same. Starting in the center. This one reminds me more of J Diction. It's not as thin, but it is kind of cloudy. I don't know if you guys can see it, which again, I know that like videos aren't perfect about that, but I wish that you guys could see that it is cloudy. Okay. That's self-leveled nicely. Let's hit it with the torch here. This one looks the clearest out of them all right now. Hit it with the torch again. Reset our clock. Start 1 minute and 20 seconds. And I'm not holding my hands, this isn't touching the silicone mold at all. This is probably 4 inches off of the mold, which is a good distance. I will say all of these smell the same. They're all pretty low odor, in my opinion. Yeah, so let's see how this one holds up. But right now there's a clear winner, and it's J. Diction, which, again, to be honest, really is what we've used for years and what we love. And if you buy it in the 500-gram bottle, which I definitely recommend you guys buy, if you're going to be using UV resin, you're probably going to be using it quite a bit. So I would go ahead and get the 500-gram bottle if I was you all, which is a very good deal. So I'll link that below as well as these other brands and the smaller J. Diction bottle. But if I was you, I'd just go ahead and get the big one. That's what we always get, and we never regret it. Okay. This seems like it did pretty good. Yeah, this seems like it did pretty good. Now, I can tell there's liquid in the bottom of this, like where the mold's not done, like where it's not done curing. And I don't know if you can see that. I don't know if you can see it in the light at all, but there is resin down there that's not been cured. So just like the rest of them, flipping it over, let's give it another 30 seconds on the back, but this one has domed up too, I can tell. I don't know if it's domed up quite as bad. We'll see though. Let me clean my mold out. Now the reason why it's important to have clear silicone molds and not colored is because UV resin, the UV rays cannot penetrate to cure that UV resin if you have a colored mold. So you need a clear mold for UV resin. Okay, there's 30 seconds. Okay. This one didn't do too bad, not as bad as the other one. It's still domed up. I'm trying to push it down as it's cooling. Okay, so let's take a gander at these. I can look at them pretty close here. So this one is this brand here. This one is this one. This one is this one. This one's definitely the last in the running. Definitely. It domed up super bad. It didn't cure properly. It cured hard, but it domed up really bad. As far as bubbles, it's not bad. Yellowing, honestly, it's not bad either. We'll try it on some other projects and see how it fares, but right now it's definitely third in the running. It's definitely up to these two. Now this one has some imperfections in there that could be user error. One thing I will say is that this one did not self-level as well as the J. Diction at all. I can feel that it's much thicker over here than it is on the other side. While J. Diction is nice and flat and smooth. They're both pretty much the same thickness. Clear-wise, they're both pretty clear. These are pretty similar. Honestly, pretty similar, but as far as functionality, just how everything happened, because I said this one has some imperfections, and this one is domed up where this one is flat. I mean, you can press it down when it's warm too, but it's still domed up where the J. Diction just didn't. I'm going to have to still give it to J. Diction, but I will say, if you're super, super, super pressed for money and you need to really cut corners where you can, spending $3 less on a little bottle of resin is fine. This seems like a fine product. However, again, if you can buy the bigger 500-gram bottle of the J. Diction, 100% do that. You will not regret it. That J. Diction resin is an incredible resin. So this was a blind test. We didn't know how these were going to fare. I'm definitely glad we compared them. Honestly, they're all decent resins, especially if you were to mix these with glitter or a pigment or something, you would not be able to see these imperfections. They all cured hard. They all did what they're supposed to do. This one definitely domed up the worst. It's my least favorite. This one's still domed up as well. But yellowing's pretty good. They're both, all three are pretty clear. I'm pretty impressed with all of them, especially these two being from Temu. But I do have to say J. Diction is still our favorite. What did you all think of these UV resin comparisons? I hope you did enjoy this video. Like I mentioned, if you did, give it a thumbs up. If you are brand new here and you're wondering what we do and who we are, you have stumbled along a really great crafting community. Oak and Lamb's mission is to make you a well-rounded and confident crafter, no matter what area of crafting you're passionate about. We do cricketing, we do sublimation, laser cutting, we do sewing, woodworking, home decor, and more. We dabble in all kinds of things like candle making and screen printing and UV resin. You name it, we have done it here at Oak and Lamb. Our community is completely unmatched, and we really hope that you join today. If you would like to do so, you can use the code 20OFF, 20OFF at checkout, and get $20 off your yearly membership with us, not just this year, but every year you stay. Now, what do you get in that membership? Why is it an amazing place to be? Not only do we have over 1,000 digital cut files that we keep adding to, all of those do have a free commercial use license, which means you can sell any and all projects you make using our cut files for free, which is amazing. Also, we have an exclusive community over on Facebook, a private group that our members absolutely adore. It's a way for them to communicate with each other, ask questions, get advice. It's a great hub for all things crafting over there. It's most of our members' favorite perk of membership, which is amazing. We also have some free trainings if you do happen to have a Cricut machine. We have free courses for all of the machines, so no matter what Cricut model you have, you can learn how to master it super quick with the free trainings included in those courses. We also have a member-only podcast and some member-only trainings, comparisons, and project videos. It's a happening place over here at Oak and Lamb, so join today, become a member of our flock. You will not regret it. Thank you all so much for watching this video. I hope you did enjoy it. I'll see you another day for another one.